about 60% of potential is not in use in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and definitely, in my point of view, the large-scale hydropower up to 20 megawatt or more should be considered in the future. And there are the plans, according to the strategy of Bosnia and Herzegovina, until 2030 to build more than 300 megawatts of hydropower, especially in Drina River. Talking about the small hydro, definitely it should be constructed to benefit local community, the people who are locally, because the impact actually is on local level. So the models of constructing the small hydropower plant should be changed. The feed-in tariffs, actually, the incentive system should be changed, and take into consideration the environmental aspects. Definitely the decision makers should put the focus on small hydropower plants without or with very low the environmental impacts. Definitely the focus should be put on large-scale projects and rivers which will not destroy the environment, first of all, and which will employ the people. And in realistic view, it's very realistic to have 50% of total renewable energy mix in following 10 years. Talking about social aspects, definitely my favor of technology would be that one which will employ the people locally, such as biomass, such as hydropower, because 60 or 70% of the total work of the technology can be produced locally. The diversification of renewables actually is the best way to achieve the sustainable goal and to achieve the clean energy package. Using wind, hydro and solar plus biomass would be the best solution for the Bosnia and Herzegovina in terms of sustainability, in terms of security of electricity and energy production, and of course energy consumption, which is the goal which should be achieved. So if we are going to switch off the thermal power units, definitely we have to provide energy and electricity on some ways. The best way is definitely renewables, hydropower and wind, taking into consideration all environmental aspects and social aspects. The decision of stopping construct the small hydropower plants in some kind of recommendation which is not adopted as a law decree or some rule book, and in following days, in following months, actually this will be shown is reality or not in terms of constructing the hydropower plants. There are a lot of started projects in implementation phase, but also the plant, and it's very difficult to stop the construction of the projects which they provide the finance, where they have the contract with the state, with the government about the feed-in tariffs, for example, and so on. And in following years, this decision, in my point of view, will not be the act stopping the constructing the hydropower plant. This is an election year in Bosnia and Herzegovina on local level, and we know the hydropower plants built in local communities, and definitely the elections is one of the reasons why politicians want to stop this hydropower. But really, we will see the end of year or beginning of next year what was the reason for these initiatives in both entities. Politics are creating all sectors, and including the energy sector, which is one of the most important sectors, I would say, in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So a lot of people who are investing in such facilities are politically active as well. So I'm not sure how they are going to stop the development of this country by stopping construction of the small and even large hydropower plants. It's a huge potential here in Bosnia, and considering the environmental aspects, it's something which should be further development in the Bosnia and the local communities. We will use the coal in following years, definitely, not just in electricity production, but also for heating. The people are poor, and energy poverty of the country is more than 50%. So those are the reasons why we use the coal such as cheapest energy fuel.